So Donald Trump yesterday appeared at the Society of Black Journalists convention. And look, I mean, did you think it was going to go well? It didn't go amazing, is what I would say. And it didn't go amazing, first of all, because Donald Trump is not going to get a fair shake at the Society of Black Journalists convention. He should know that going in. I'm sure he did. You have to prepare yourself for the kinds of questions you're going to get. They were not surprising questions. I will vote for Trump. Trump is a vastly superior choice to Joe Biden. It is not even close. It is a battle between incompetence and evil versus common sense and competence. Biden is evil. He is incompetent. Harris has no singular legislative accomplishment ever in her empty career in politics. She's now trying to run from every political position she has ever taken. So I want to state up front, clearly, concisely, loudly, boldly, unequivocally, I will vote for Donald Trump. Do I wish he was better at finishing the prosecution that he could bring to Kamala Harris's background, to Joe Biden's policies? Yes, I said that yesterday. I will say it from now until November 5th. If he loses this election, it is because he did not press the case convincingly enough, despite ample amounts of ammunition. And accepting the invitation to go to the Society of Black Journalists was not a mistake by Donald Trump. You'll notice Kamala Harris didn't show up. The reason why Kamala Harris didn't show up is not because she feared facing tough questions, although she probably feared facing a few, since Harris Faulkner of Fox was sitting on the panel yesterday. But you and I both know it was going to be, as much as it could be, a layup for Kamala Harris. She's not confident or competent enough to even handle the layup line of questions she would get from sitting down with partisan hacks in the major media, which is, I'm repeating myself because 98% of them are. Nevertheless, it did not go amazing for Donald Trump. Now, before I get into the audio from the appearance, let me just first say that when I worked at the Cleveland Plain Dealer from 1987 to 2005, I would periodically hear about, the Society of Black Journalists is going on. And I always thought, there is no Society of White Journalists. If there were, it would be racist, of course. So why is it not racist for there to be a Society of Black Journalists? I would love to have that question answered for me. Why they are allowed to segregate according to race, and a lot of newspapers would go and hire exclusively from their convention. I lived it for 18 years at the Plain Dealer, where shortly after I was hired in 1987, I sat down with the editor who hired me, and he said, the reason why we interviewed you in September, and it took us until late October to make you an offer, is because the National Labor Relations Board required us to interview 18 minorities for the position that you filled, and we had to certify that you were the best candidate. We had to write down why you were the best candidate. So that kind of discrimination proliferated decades ago in hiring practices. And it is why we allow a society of black journalists, but would never allow a society of white journalists. It is why they accost Trump yesterday for challenging Kamala Harris being a DEI hire, yet have nothing to say about Kamala segregating her voters into white women for Kamala, black, queer, gay men for Kamala, black men for Kamala, and white men for Kamala. That's fine. The door on racism accusations swings only one way, but Trump should have known that yesterday when he sat down and the first question, really a statement, an attack, came to him from Rachel Scott of ABC News. She's pathetic, but again, there's a way to disarm this question, and Trump failed to do it.
Addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals. from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the Black population of this country. I've done so much for the Black population of this country.
Okay, that is how you start. You say, well, it's obvious you bring a great deal of bias to our conversation today. That's all you have to say. Well, it's obviously, Ms. Scott, you bring a great deal of bias to our conversation today, because just to refer to one thing you said, when I refer to Alvin Bragg, I never refer to him as a Black prosecutor. I refer to him as a prosecutor. He is Black. You're drawing an equivalency that I've never said. So you're accusing me of something that is inauthentic, which in your role as journalist is not observant of journalistic ethics. And then move on and talk about what you've done for the Black community. And he's got to stop referring to Black jobs. That is a stupid characterization. Jobs that could go to Black citizens that are being taken by illegal aliens allowed into the country by the Biden administration. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? And you can say, yeah, well, he eventually gets around to that. And I've got audio that proves he eventually gets around to that. You don't get to eventually get around to it, because there's a little thing that we have in media called editing. And how many times have tapes of what Donald Trump said been deceptively edited? Don't give them the rope to hang you with. He's got to get better at this.